Thank you for being part of this journey. Celebrating 2 decades of Pacific stories. Brought to you by the Secretariat of the Pacific Community. Bulavinaka, bonjour, a very warm welcome to the Pacific Way. Christmas Island in the Republic of Kiribati is the largest coral atoll in the world. But for hundreds of years, high rainfall variability has been a constraint to long-term settlement on the island, and is still considered one of the greatest limiting factors to development. The Secretariat of the Pacific Community and the European Union are now working with the local government to improve water security on Christmas Island by not only addressing infrastructure needs, but by also supporting capacity building, education, and awareness that is vital for maintaining healthy communities.
As the breeze picks up across Christmas Island, a tired windmill sets to work. It, like those surrounding, is a lifeline for sustaining long-term habitation on this isolated atoll. Christmas Island, a low-lying patch of land belonging to the Republic of Kiribati, surrounds itself with the world's largest body of water. A fisherman and birdwatcher's paradise, it also possesses rich history depicted in some of the names of the main urban communities like Poland, Main Camp, Tennessee, and London. Those who live here are afforded a luxury not found in Kiribati's capital, Tarawa: space.
Yes, I like living here because it's very much easy for life. Food, you can get food from anywhere in the bush, because the bush you go and get coconut, moimoto. You know this manaita, the crabs. And the fish, plenty fish on the pound and in the sea, you can get anything. But here in Tarawa, it's so hard to get. You have to buy.
Water, however, is not a luxury. Kasu Terenga Bosu has for the last 20 years made her home here in Tabakea, the most densely populated village on the island. The former broadcast announcer from Tarawa admits that life is easier here, but even that's changing.
But you see now, there are many people, and we are living on the list, there is, and there. So when we saw that there are many people, we make their toilets near them. Like us, we make our toilet too. But we have to take our well far away from them. And now we are starting point. Sometimes we get some water from the rainwater from our house. But now I think it's more difficult now because we have to pour water. But before we don't put the water, we just drink it.
Unlike the capital, water tanks are not a common sight here. Located in a dry belt, Christmas Island receives an average rainfall of just 900 milliliters a year, compared to Tarawa's 2,000 milliliters. Instead, the locals look underground for this precious resource. Beneath the dry, open space known as Decca and Four Wells lie freshwater lenses that are the primary supply of water to the main urban centers of Tabacaire, Tennessee, and London. Made up of a combination of solar and wind pumps, the existing infrastructure was constructed under a donor-funded project over a decade ago. But limited resources, a lack of spare parts, and vandalism has taken its toll.
And it was good then because it's only catered for a very small population at that time. But as we go along, the infrastructure got it's running down, and most of it are not working, and the population here is increasing actually. So people are complaining because they don't have water in their taps.
Sin tapitay on tapitay yegsi. Abon nangin tapitay yegsi. Kaya na tapay ritata. Ato sin tiran na yari apun sin ako onton. Ari apen nuru tanggi ang esan tagirang ite tamonep. Ngayon kan apun nagsi pangara tapay ritata. To yagiro ko yetiran. Ini gira raran te takandan. Ngat to wapong ini gira. Kasubun katain kawagin aran bar si takandan ne. Ini gira.
At an average annual growth rate of 8%, the number of people who live here is expected to reach 12,000 in the next 5 years. Balancing that socio-economic development with the resources available is an ongoing concern for the Ministry of Line and Phoenix Islands Development, which administers the daily affairs on the island.
We are very cautious of the increasing demand of our population. We don't want to repeat the problems that we are faced in Tarawa. We want to learn from those experiences and make sure that the development of Christmas Island as an economic growth center is balanced and able to meet the demands of the people, the increasing population.
The boats from Tarawa can carry 200 people. And in a year, there might be 6 or 7 trips from Tarawa. And you can count that maybe can come up to 1,000 in a year. People are migrating to stay in Christmas Island. Most of them are looking for jobs. We have limited sources. We don't have income. We don't have the technical person to advise the council what's the problem is all about in water. So most of our concern is only developing but not concerning on water because we have no understanding on that.
Yeah, there used to be, and I think there still are, people who live close by the area, or maybe there are some squatters who camp out there, and in terms of like the water source, they can use our windmills and either taking their bath or get their water needs. And sometimes they didn't return the stuff to the original, they broke the thing. So that's usually our case when we go up there and we saw that something has been broken.
Major efforts are now underway to change that. The European Union, working in partnership with the government of Kiribati, has committed over 4 million euros to improving water supply and management on Christmas Island. The 4-year Improved Drinking Water Supply for Christmas Island project is currently being implemented by the Secretariat of the Pacific Community, SPC.
Well, Christmas Island is a special place. Variable rainfall has been the major limitation in terms of its long-term settlement. So when the funding was provided by our partners, the European Union, SBC is pleased to provide the technical support and assistance to the government of Kiribati to develop the water resources on the island. SBC, of course, is a long-term partner, and we see the development of all of our members as important, and especially water and sanitation services for places like Kiribati, because it enables economic development, social development, and enables communities to be healthy.
Christmas Island, I think, does have a lot of potential to develop, and we've recently allocated 23.5 million euros to Christmas Island, to its sustainable development. But we can't really have any sustainable development unless there is access to water. By the same token, we can't really have sustainable development without access to energy. And these are two of the crucial issues that we're going to be looking at and providing support for on Christmas Island. People don't have clean water to drink, they don't have a reliable source of water. So what we're trying to do through the program is to make sure that around 75% of schools, hospitals and households have access to sustainable and clean water sources in London and Tennessee, and overall on Christmas Island to try to make sure that 85% of all households have access to safe and sustainable water. So it's an important project for Christmas Island, an important project for Kiribati, but I think above all it's an important way of working across the Pacific in terms of providing people with opportunities that otherwise they would not have.
The main aim of this project is to supply clean and sustainable drinking water to Christmas Island, targeting the two villages at Tennessee and London. At the Decca and Four Wells water lenses, we have 8 windmills and 3 solar pumps. At the moment, we only have 5 windmill pumps working, and none of the solar pumps are working. So as a result, there is very low pressure being pumped out at Decca and Four Wells to London and Tennessee. That low pressure cannot fill the head tank behind me. So as a result of that, the small tanks at the households at London and Tennessee are also not being filled.
With the current challenges, the Ministry's Water and Sanitation Division has been forced to rely on a diesel water pump to pick up the slack. Water pumped from the main water lenses is also carted across the atoll, an exercise that is proving both costly and unsustainable.
But nowadays we're using a diesel every day, from maybe 12 hours. It's a very strong pump and it sucks more water. The yield of the water from the ground is, is more. And there is a certain amount that we can extract every day, but that limit, I think we are going beyond it within using the diesel pump. And the maintenance of the water truck is very great as well.
Plans are underway to drill and find new water sources and construct a new pipeline directly serving communities at Tennessee and London at the far end of the existing pipeline. An immediate priority of the SPC implemented project is to rehabilitate all the windmills and install new solar pumps. It's also important that the project address the leakage problem to improve pressure further down the main pipeline. This would restore enough pressure to fill the head tank at Decca, the lower head tanks at Tabakia and London, as well as the small household tanks.
Okay, so we're at the Four Wells water lens where we have 3 solar water pumps. As you can see in the background, the previous water pump installed in early 2000 is no longer operating. The solar panels are missing and the water pump has also been stolen. So we have now installed a new solar pump, and as you can see, the solar pump is at a height and the The pump itself is actually a submersible pump in the well under the water. So we're also trying to put a fence structure in place to provide added security.
For the Christmas Island Health Centre, located at the very end of the existing water pipeline, early progress undertaken by the project is promising news.
We need water to clean ourselves after we work, but when there is no water, we are at risk of contracting many kind of diseases. And for the patients themselves, they need a very clean environment. So if there's no water, they won't use the toilets or they won't have their shower, which can be a bad thing for them.
This health centre provides a vital service not only to Christmas Island, but the entire Line Islands. And so far, it is totally dependent on the water truck deliveries every morning and afternoon to fill their tanks.
Yeah, one time we had one emergency cesarean section, and during that time there was no water. But we could not wait for the water to come because it was really an emergency. So what we did, we sent our nurses to get water from the nearby houses. And they come and then for their scrub before they do the operation, which is not good. This water project, I know that the hospital will benefit from the project.
Just as important as addressing concerns above ground is maintaining and understanding the conditions of water lenses below. Many of the boreholes used to monitor the water lens depth at Decca and Four Wells have been damaged over the years. The project plans to drill new water monitoring boreholes to identify new water sources and construct 8 to 10 wind and solar pumps that will be connected to the new pipeline.
So what we have here is one of the flow meters. It measures the combined water being pumped from Decca and Four Wells down to London town. But the flow meter hasn't been working for a number of years. So this measures how much water is being pumped from both water lenses. So it's quite important. So we don't know exactly how much water is being pumped out of the water lenses to London town. It's something that we need to fix under the project so that we can identify the sustainable rate for water being pumped out of the water lenses.
Government statistics indicate that only 3% of schools in Kiribati have access to adequate water supply and only 2% to adequate sanitation facilities. Gulfport Primary School, located in Banana, has an enrollment of 200 students this year.
This term, maybe 3 weeks ago, they used to drink from our own tanks. But as you know, there is no rain now. They bring their own drinks from their homes because they cannot drink from our water here.
2 large water tanks usually supply the school, but these now sit dry due to a broken pump.
The problem of the broken pump, that's why we can't use our toilet. But some students still using it by fetching their own water from the small well. Some students go to their own houses and some they use the bush.
Groundwater can be found not too far below the surface here. In fact, the primary school currently sits very close to the water lens, and the teachers and students have in the meantime made a smaller well to help cater for their needs.
Because you ride on that fresh water, if this water gets contaminated somehow, once it's exposed like this, you have to protect it. Because that's the fresh water that goes underground right across this area, which we are also pumping on the other side using the windmills,
Yeah.
which then supplies Banana Village. So if you have contamination here, it also affects that whole water supply which we pump to serve the village. So it's important to cover so it's not exposed.
In schools around Christmas Island, concerted efforts are now being made to create more awareness on water supply, sanitation and hygiene, or WASH. Today the team is at Tennessee Primary, the largest school on the island.
The students, we always say that they're an agent of change. That's why we wanted to promote it in schools with the thinking that whatever that they learn in schools, they'll take it back home and be able to teach their parents when they go back home. So it's basically getting them to really understand why they need to wash their hands or why they need to save water. Because we can't just go in and tell people, you need to save water, but we need to explain to them why, the reason why they need to save water, why they need to change their behaviors towards hand washing and use proper toilet to address sanitation issues on the island. So for children, that's the main thing that we're trying to do in schools. Not only training or carrying out session with the students, but the teachers as well.
Villagers right across the atoll have also benefited from the week-long water campaign on Christmas Island. The campaign team, comprising of government personnel, principals and health workers, have undergone a WASH training of trainers exercise. All the sessions are conducted in the local Kiribati language and are designed to include community participation.
Orang-orang nak tahu pun, akhir apa pun temaguri, yang orang temau iri nak akhir maguri. Akin tadi temaguri teran kai bukan kanan, yang orang temau iri temen ti tiakau, ti anak pun maguri tahu tiak, terus dikirak pun mak, ngai itu mengaroi. Kita pun tak kalau tidak, aning mau buat lagi, tenan aru, tenan grup, bukan tenan aru ikak kau yon ada tahu.
Ya, aniaun, kainan orang aki yaru kari kanga tanah namanya lagi kan, anang puakarun ngai ti Maurin ti sako. Yoni men na kiane pe abun one ira kin ya uso. Ngayari yarun neng dikira keci ti men norek. Anna kanga ibun na kanga perai. So nang dikira.
At the end of the day, it's about working together. In order for the project to succeed, both government and community involvement and commitment is needed to safeguard the atoll's pristine, yet very limited water resource and the infrastructure that enables them to enjoy it.
It's crucial that through providing safe and sustainable water, we also improve the health of the citizens of Christmas Island. I think very often children are beset with illnesses which can so easily be avoided if water is clean, if water sources can be trusted. So the project really does have the potential to make a real difference to people's lives, as well as providing real opportunities for economic development.
So we are committed to work with the EU on the water project now to make sure that it's moving in the right direction. And after the completion of the project, we are committed to make sure that the infrastructure are protected, and we make sure that the rules that we develop with the project are enforced.
Up to now, I think people are satisfied a bit, not much, but the project is just starting, and I know for sure that by the end of the project, people will be satisfied and happy to get the water in their system.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. Unfortunately, we have to leave you now. Now be sure to pay us a visit on Facebook and on YouTube because we'd love to hear your thoughts about the show or any of our stories. Until next time, moi demanda, au revoir, goodbye. Thank you for being part of this journey. Celebrating 2 decades of Pacific stories. Brought to you by the Secretariat of the Pacific Community.